Okay, welcome back. And so we're looking at the very important subject of salary review for judicial officers. And it's been a long time coming. And, okay, we've come to one of the main planks of it. A lot of people think that corruption, which has been, you know, a scourge, and that's the last place you want to have an infestation of corruption. That is the hallowed halls of justice. And people are sort of hopeful that with this hefty lift, 60 million, what was the figure? 64 for this Chief Justice of the Federation, 60 million for the other justices, and all of this will trickle down. And so we're looking at different aspects of all of this. And then we got onto the whole matter of societal morality. What is the attitude of society? Because the judges are still part of the society. What is the attitude of society to all of this? I had to interrupt Jide when we wanted to go on a break, as we were sort of exploring how much we can reasonably expect this to do, as opposed to theoretically.
You know, I was saying that every nation that is great today went through something. Singapore left Malaysia in 1965 with serious challenges. And today is one of the best countries to live and work in the world. So it's all.
But it's a very strict society.
Yeah, yeah. You develop your system. There's this 10 magic of the Singaporean development for those who want to study it. And of course, I was saying somewhere that we are talking about the oil and gas, how Dangote is promising that in the next 5 weeks, we may not need to import fuel into the country. The first refinery in Nigeria was inaugurated in 1965. So we have refineries, but what have we done to the refinery? So you either grow by what you go through, or you regress by what you go through. By now, since 1960, October 1, that we got political independence, with the resources we have, I believe Nigeria should be the third richest country in the world. And that is why I don't want us to shy away from the fact that we still have money to pay our bills. At what cost? Nigeria's total indebtedness was about 12.12 trillion naira in March 2015. Today it's about 100 trillion naira. The oil thieves are there. The gold thieves in the northern part of the country, they are there. And so what advantage are you taking through what you have experienced in life? That is the story of Nigeria. You see, and it does not appear as if we have learned so much.
Okay. Well, as you can see from, that chest caption there, if you're just tuning in, we're not talking about corruption per se, but we're talking about the salary review for judicial officers, and that is what has led us down this street. Just so people, because it's possible that you might not really bother to look at, but there's no way it won't go there, because it's a very, very important aspect of all of this. Jide earlier was speaking about exemplifying with how the ease at which some people are able or not able to pay their school fees, the school fees of their children and their wards. And it is in this very society that we have officers who have sworn to an oath to do the right thing as officers, have reportedly, allegedly, as you lawyers would say, we would say reportedly, lawyers would say allegedly, have, I understand, handed to institutions enough money for the next 5 years. This child that is coming in class 1 is supposed to be here till class 6 or 7 or whatever. Look, just take all of this and be doing a checkoff. At the end of it, we'll do an account. I never heard of that before, as a matter of fact. So it goes to show you that the creativity that is possible, even when it comes to corruption, and thereby institutionalizing it. And when we were saying allegedly or not allegedly, or reportedly or not reportedly, institutions have sort of acknowledged receiving such monies, again, let me say allegedly, and have offered to hand it back. So this is not, we're not talking about judges here, but we're talking about the society of which the judges are a part.
You see, this is one of the things I said. That's why I made allusion to what the legislators were earning earlier, because just like you have said, though we are discussing the remuneration of judges, the practicability of it, the pros and the cons, and there, but there is no how we will not touch.
Yes,
desirability.
The
You understand? There is no how we will not touch on other areas if it has to work, because okay. I can tell you, of all the three arms of government, I have said it on a radio program this morning, that the judiciary works more than others. They function more than the other. They are more assertive than the other, and all that. The productivity is higher. However, they earn the less. You understand? And all effort.
And that was not satisfactory.
Yeah, it's not satisfactory, and all effort to make them to be independent had been frustrated. What happened to Executive Order 10 when President Buhari said, no, the judiciary had to be independent for us to move forward? It's one of the first steps to starting. Not even the salary per se, but the salary is a good point. We praise the president. He has done that. But just like my learned friend has said, all these things, they are complementary of one another. If you read the history book, Udoji Commission, when the salary was increased, is one of the problems, the foundation of some of the problems that we have today, because every market woman, they are not deaf. And as at that time, information dissemination was at the lowest ebb, but now it's at that age where the whole world is a computer village. If something happened in London now, in the next 5 minutes you have had. So now, what do we do? These judges, they are entitled to this. The executive should still do more. Apart from the salary, the working environment must be very attractive, must be very encouraging and conducive. We have seen situations that the judges will say, gentlemen, please off your wig and gown. He will give us the leave. We have to, despite the fact that we have to wear wig and gown, we off their wig, we off our gown, because there is no fan, sometimes no light, and so on and so forth. These are it. And economy must be revamped. A situation whereby you are giving, is the 64 million naira Uncle Yori is mentioning. So Uncle Yori is not mentioning that as a chief judge of Nigeria. It's not every school that your judge can, your children can go. They must go to a fortified school where there is security because of the kind of job you do. Now from 64 million naira, can you pay that? When we have had an institution in Nigeria that is about to take up now, and the accommodation fee is about 3.8 million naira per annum. Do you understand how much is the accommodation fee you are paying a judge? So we should look at all of these things. We should ensure that the commodities are cheap. The economy is rescued. Those are the things, not a country where a bag of rice is sold for a very high amount of money and you are paying 64 million and you think it's a big money. It is not too big, but the president has done well and we commend him.
Well, he said that that you think it's a big money because you look at 64 million naira a month and other judges 60 million naira a month, and it goes down like that. And you know, NLC, what was the NLC proposal for its own minimum wage?
615,000.
615,000.
And the government is offering, I think,
48,000.
And so NLC is saying that government is not taking us seriously.
Yeah.
But there is no parallel, Abi.
And on the lighter note, there is an advert close to Alausa of some apartments, and the initial deposit is just about 39 million naira only. So these are issues. So let's go back to Section 16 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. It says that the government shall provide affordable housing and available housing, minimum living, reasonable minimum wage, care for the old, for the disabled. Section 17 talks about welfare and things like that. So if we don't take care of the macro environment, it will stifle what is done at the micro environment. That is the point we are making, because the market woman is out for profit. In public relations, there are 5 pillars in business. You talk about growth, survival, employee satisfaction, profitability, and then CSR, corporate social responsibility. To the market woman is profitability. They don't increase their salary. They don't know who is a judge or who is not a judge. So every viral, it goes round. Somebody traveled to Edo State by road and was telling me this morning he spent about 90-something thousand naira to fuel the vehicle.
Yes.
We experience these things. So, and the minimum wage, statutorily, as we speak today in Nigeria, is 30,000 naira. Anything above it, they are just actions of convenience or political promises. And not even all states are paying that 30,000. And that's why I'm concerned about practicability. So, and Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says that the National Assembly shall make laws for the peace, orderliness, and good governance of Nigeria. So we need to put all this in. But I believe that where our attention should be now is how to secure the prosperity of this nation. We have too many wicked souls throwing economic terrorism at the nation. All thieves, bandits, sponsors, different kinds. We have enough resources to take care of Africa.
Let me bring in Richard. Good morning, Richard, in Abuja. Good morning, Richard. Okay. Did you want to comment on that aspect? Because everybody has said that. They've spoken very highly of it. Yes, but it also is part of a milieu, and that's going to be important. We asked, and we didn't spend any time there at all, whether there was any relevance between the figure that NLC is proposing, for example, that has been thought to be ludicrous, and what is going on now. And Jide is making the point that these things are going to have to be factored in together and balanced out, ironed out. The government is coming up with 48,054, the organized private sector. They wanted 615.
Yes, like you have, my little friend Mr. Jide has said something, and you too, you have alluded to it. But when we talk about practicability and all that, we should also, yes, I agree to a large extent, but some of these things is by commitment. If you are committed, you will be able to, do a lot of things. It's just printing one or two things. Like, for instance, one of the things we are lacking in this today in Nigeria, we like to put all blames on the government. You get to the market, something you bought 10,000 naira last year, the part seller will tell you it's 35,000. You know how it be now. You yourself, you won't be able to price much because you would think it's true. Meanwhile, it is not so. They lie against the dollar. We don't spend dollar. Dollar is a foreigner in this country. When Nigeria was good, sir, possession of foreign currency is an offense. You will be prosecuted. Do you understand? But now, everybody, they have dollarized the economy, even the political, the elites, let me put it that way, not the political class. They spend dollar because they can't carry too much naira in their pocket. So,
by extension, they are also wasting dollars at parties,
exactly,
at social events.
Exactly. Now that they say, don't abuse naira, they have switched to dollar. The law does not cover dollar. I'm telling you. Now, again, when you look at it very well, there is something we are lacking. There is no price regulatory agency. So, because until that one is there, because I could remember in 1994 December, Abacha, he ruled out, he made an order that no transporter must increase transport money for December. And the other stood. You understand? Some of these things.
What was the pump price of petroleum?
Let me
argue for these traders. Okay, now you need to move yam tubers from Benue State,
yes,
the food basket of the nation, to Lagos. How much will you buy the diesel to bring those goods? How much will you pay on the road with the systemic checkpoints?
Yes.
Where you
corrupt checkpoints,
pay tolls. And please, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Go to the Long Bridge as you are driving into Lagos.
Yes.
You will see some officers lined up as if they are there to secure. No, they are there to escort some special vehicles into Lagos at a cost.
Yes, of course.
So we have all these things. Travel from Lagos to Benin City. Count the number of checkpoints.
No.
So these are issues we are talking about. So before that item arrives the market space in Lagos, yes, the premium on it already. And that is why I am advocating that can we for once, the 109 senators, 160 ROS members, the MDAs, those in government, sit down. Pick two vibrant economies in the world. Google what they have done to arrive at where they are. They don't need to travel to anywhere. I read recently the government said we scale down on the supply of electricity to Niger, Benin, and Togo. Why is it difficult to supply electricity to your citizens in your country? And let me say this to the government very soon you may be stranded because people are now migrating to solar installers at a cost. So you build in, and this trader has to take her children to the hospital. Who pays for that?
Okay, let me, I just feel a need to say again that we're looking at the proposed hefty